Okay, good morning. We will study the next topic, that is abstract classes. Okay, so studied final variables, final methods, and final classes. Finalize methods. Next, we will study abstract methods. Discuss about abstract methods and classes. Okay, next method variables and see. First, we'll study abstract classes and abstract methods. Okay. Now abstract class. So in generally, what is abstract class? So abstract class is a it consists only a declaration part, not a definition part. So abstract, see here. So why we need an abstract class? Why we need abstract class, and what is the use of abstract class? I will discuss in this topic. See, there are some the first point, and there are situations where you want to define a super class. Okay, with respect to inheritance, if you there are some situations where you want to define a super class, and that super class declares the structure of a given abstraction without providing a complete implementation of every method. Means there are some situations if you want to declare a method or declare a class or a super class that declares only a structure of abstraction. Means it hides without providing complete implementation of every method. Means an abstract method consists only in most cases the abstract class consists only a declaration part, not a definition parts. Okay, so there are some in these kind of situations, like if you want to provide only abstraction, only structure, so not an implementation, actual implementation of every method or every so obviously so every method means within a class, within any class, so methods having a complete implementation or a complete definition. Okay, so now the super class that only defines a generalized form that will be shared by all the subclasses. So okay, here superclass that only defines a generalized form. So forget about abstract. Just remember, in case of usual inheritance concept, the superclass is there, and the class whichever going to inherit that inherit means that class which is going to extend that particular superclass. So it inherits all the properties. Okay, so this is the main concept of inheritance. Okay, see here, the superclass that only defines a generalized form that will be shared by all its subclasses. Means one superclass can be extended by many subclasses. So there is no any restriction for that. Means if a class A is there, so many classes, means class B can extend class A, or class C can also class A. So there is no restrictions. Means here the point is superclass that only defines a generalized form will be shared by all its subclasses. So see, indirect meaning is it acquires all the properties, no restriction for extending that particular classes or a subclasses. So see here what happens actually with respect to abstract class. So here the abstract class act as a generalized form. Means it's a generalized form. So it is shared by all of its subclasses. Means only we are declaring we are declaring some data members or member methods, only a declaration part, so not an actual definition part in most of the abstract classes. So now here in the third point we can see here the leaving it to the each subclass to fill in the details. So the meaning here is the whichever the class which is extending this abstract class, so it is left to the child class going to implementation details, going to implement all its functionalities in this child class. Okay, it is left to the child class or a subclass. So here with respect to abstraction and inheritance, linking with abstraction class and inheritance, so the subclass which is going to extend any particular abstract class, it is up to the child class to provide implementation details. Okay, so here the nature of the method that the subclasses must implement. Okay, the meaning here is the nature of the methods. Nature of the methods means actual implementation of method that the subclasses must implement means at the actual implementation of methods within abstract class. We have abstract class, we have a methods within abstract class, and but the actual here the subclasses must implement. So nature of a methods that the subclasses must implement. The meaning here is the abstract. We have abstract methods, but the actual implementation should be the nature or actual implementation should be done by the subclasses, whichever it is inheriting that particular superclass. So now the situation can occur is when a superclass is unable to create a meaningful implementation for a method. So there is a situation like can occur when a superclass is unable to create a meaningful implementation for a method. So in that case, you declare that class as an abstract. Now you have a situation that occur when a superclass is unable to create a meaningful implementation for its methods. If a superclass is unable to create a meaningful implementation for its methods, then declare that class as an abstract. Okay. Now how to declare a class as abstract? Okay. When to declare and how to declare. So if when to declare abstract class, if you want to define a generalized form of a class and that is shared by all the subclasses, and actual the abstract class you want to provide only structure of a given abstraction, not actual implementation is not provided. So in that case you declare a class as abstract. And how to declare a class as abstract? So simply use the abstract keyword in front of the class keyword. Simply we use the abstract keyword in front of the class keyword. Okay. So by doing this this class act as a class, that particular class act as a abstract class. So now there can be no object for abstract class. So here there can be no object of abstract class. See the actually what the statement, the meaning of the statement is, you can create an object, no problem, but there is no meaning in creating object for abstract class, because it consists only a declaration part, not a definition part. So there is no meaning in creating objects of abstract class. So here in this next point, the abstract class cannot be directly instantiated with the new operator. So this is not possible to create an object of that particular abstract class. So any specific abstract class you cannot create object by using a new operator. So what is the use of new operator? So actual creation of an object, this is done by using a new operator. Okay. So the abstract class cannot be directly instantiated, means you cannot create the object of any specific any particular abstract class by using a new operator. Okay. Okay. So but there can be used to create in the last point can be used to create object references. So why we need to create? It is possible to create object references because the runtime polymorphism. What is runtime polymorphism? At the we will discuss how to achieve runtime polymorphism by using an abstract. So use of superclass reference. So we studied that we can point we can assign, it is possible to assign a superclass, the superclass, the child specific object with superclass reference variable. By using that you can access the superclass methods or child class methods. Okay. The referencing, we know the referencing of a object or assigning of a object. So that is, we can achieve the runtime polymorphism by assigning a reference variable. Okay. We'll see with an example how to create an abstract class. Okay. Next we'll see what is abstract methods. So what are the abstract methods? Okay. In case with respect to the inheritance, so there is inheritance means so in inheritance we use the concept as the method overriding. So what is the method overriding? Method overriding means in the method in the superclass can be overridden in the subclass, means we having the same name. If there is a method in a superclass, and that method should be overridden within a subclass. with the same name and same number of parameters. Okay, the certain methods be overridden by subclass by specifying the abstract type modifier. So now what is the use and how we implement the abstract methods? We'll see with an example. So sometimes these abstract methods refer to the subclasser responsibility. Why subclasser? Because they have no implementation specified in the superclass. Means abstract methods is having within an abstract class. If we have an abstract method, so abstract method is nothing but the method is only with the declaration part, not actual definition is, or not actual implementation code is present within abstract methods. Okay, sometimes so these that is why this is referred to as a subclasser responsibility. Subclasser responsibility means the one class which is going to override that particular method is going to write the implementation details. Means actually only the declaration part is present in a superclass, and if any class is overriding that particular method in a subclass, so in that case it is up to the subclass to provide implementation detail. Provide implementation detail meaning the meaning here, the declaration method or a definition. Declaration, both definitions. Okay, it is up to the superclass. So that is why we call the abstract methods as a subclasser responsibility. Okay, next see abstract method. If we declare as abstract method in a superclass, subclass must override them to give the proper implementation, to give the proper definition. Okay, now the general form of a abstract method is abstract. We use the abstract keyword, the type of a method, the name of a method, and parameter list. Just remember how we declare abstract methods. Okay, so first proceed with the keyword abstract. The type of the type means the return type of a method, and next is the name of a method and parameter list, that is signatures. Now the class that contains one or more abstract method must also be declared as an abstract. See, if we have a class and more than one or more than one methods we declared as an abstract, so indirectly that class is declared as an abstract. So the meaning here is the class that contains one or more abstract methods must also be declared abstract. Must also be, not compulsorily, may or may not be declared as an abstract, but not compulsorily it should be an abstract class. Okay, so now we'll see an example with abstract class and abstract methods. So how we use abstract class and abstract methods. Okay, see here within this example, okay, so here is abstract class. Okay, example number 4, abstract class and methods. So in case we know in the geometrical figures like triangle, rectangular, triangular. So within this example we are going to we are trying to we declare a figure as a superclass, and we have different figures in geometry, that is the rectangular, triangle, and the rectangular, triangle, and so one more is the circle. So anything. So so we declared a class figure as a superclass, and that is an abstract class. So now forget about abstract. This act as a simple class, concrete class. Imagine this figure is a simple concrete class. Concrete class is the methods of the declaration definitions. Okay, suppose there is a class called as a figure, and this class figure is extended by one more class, that is rectangle, which extends a figure class. So here the rectangle becomes a child class of a figure. Next here one more, the triangle. So triangle is the one more child class which is extending a figure class. So now figure act as a parent, the triangle is a child class. Okay, superclass and subclass. Triangle is subclass and figure is a superclass. See here what we are doing here. So see, if we try to extend this figure class, so then there is no problem. Okay, so even though we can do this, like triangle also extends the figure, no problem. Now if I declare this as a abstract, what happens? Now this class figure becomes an abstract class. The class figure becomes an abstract class. So now abstract class here, abstract class is the parent class, abstract figure becomes an abstract class. So what is the meaning of abstract class? It has only declaration part of it, so not a definitions. The methods present within this abstract class are the methods having only declaration part, not a definition part. Okay, now here we have a two variables or data members, that is dimension 1 and dim1 and dim2, that is dimension 1 and dimension 2. Both are of type double. So these are not these are the simple variables, no problem. And here the figure is a parameterized constructor we declared, so we are just assigning values for these two data members. Now the most important here is abstract double area. Now abstract double area, now this the area here, the area method area we declared as abstract. Okay, it consists only declaration part. We cannot see here any definition, so it is having only declaration part because it is abstract. Okay, it is abstract and only declaration part. So we know that the class which extends a parent class, it inherits all the properties. Inherits all the properties means it's a data, nothing but the data members and member methods. Okay, so now it inherits a area also. Okay, now what we are doing here, we created a class called as a rectangle, which is extending a one class called as a figure. Now figure is having a two data members, that is a dim1 and dim2, that is a dimension 1 and dimension 2, and we have a method called as a area, and that area method is also inherited. Okay, now so coming to the next statement, see here we have a rectangle. So this is a parameterized constructor we use for parameterized constructor for assigning values. Now what here we are calling a super. Now this super is used to, there are two uses of a super. Super is used to call the super class constructor. So one more is to call the super the super class method by using a super dot data members or a member methods. Okay, here what happens, within a rectangle class we have a constructor, and this constructor, within this constructor we are calling a super class constructor, and we are just passing these values. Now this, after execution of this statement, the control directly transferred to here because we used super. Super is nothing but this act as a figure, because figure is a parent class, okay, or a super class. Okay, now we overridden here, we have overridden this area method here, we have overridden area method. So within the area method we are just calculating a dimension of a rectangle, that is dimension 1 into dimension 2. So we just printed one message inside area of rectangle and returns dimension 1 into dimension 2. Now see, so after this return statement, what happens after the return statements? See, after this return statement, this method returns a double value. Okay, just remember this much. So now one more class here, the class triangle. See, the most important, the class area, we have overridden the area method. Now area is the area method which is in a parent class here. It is abstract, but it is having only declaration part, but actual definition is given in the child class only. Okay, so next we'll move on to the next class, that is a triangle class. We created a class called as a triangle, and this class is extending a parent class called as a figure. Okay, now it's obviously it is extending, inherit all the properties. The properties means all the data members and member methods. Okay, we have a data members like dimension 1, dimension 2, and a method the member method called as the area, and which is abstract. See here, we declared this area as abstract here. So now this is inherited. Okay, we are just within a parameterized constructor, we are calling a superclass constructor, that is a figure. So indirectly this calls the figure constructor, that is where this controller transfer directly here within this. See here, the control transfer to directly here, and we copy this a value and b value to. So now here by executing this, it calls a superclass constructor. Okay, next we declared we defined we overridden area method of a parent class. So what we are doing here, we are actually just printing inside the area of area for a triangle. We returning dimension 1 into dimension 2 divided by 2 right angle triangle. Okay, so within a dimension 1, see, we are calculating a dimension 1 into dimension 2, the arithmetic operation, and returning a value. So now coming to the main class. So coming to the main class, see here, we cannot, as I said, we cannot create any object of a abstract class. See, we cannot create any abstract because there is no meaning in creating object of a abstract class, because it is only declaration part, no definition part. So there is no meaning in creating an object and assigning values. Okay, so now, and this is not possible in Java also. So next we created the rectangle object. Okay, rectangle object, we are passing 9 and 5, these two values 9 and 5. So once we create a rectangle object, so now control transport here, because we are using a parameterized constructor. Now control transport here. Now after this, within this method we created super. From here the control will transfer directly to here, and values are assigned here for dimension 1 and dimension 2. Now the value of dimension 1 dimension 2 are 9 and 5. Okay, now after this, that we are creating one more object of a class triangle, and we are passing two values, that is 10 and 8. Now 10 and 8 are directly, see here, after creation of this, see, after creation of this object, the control transfer to here, where the triangle is here, this. So now this see, this constructor executed. Next it indirectly calls or implicitly calls a superclass constructor, and values are copied within this data members of a superclass. Okay, now what happens, see, 10 and 8 are copied. So now dimension 1 and dimension 2, 10 and 8. Now see, as I said, we discussed one condition, like we cannot create a object for this abstract class. Okay, this is right, but in case here we created a figure FIGREF. So now figure FIGREF, this creates only reference variable, not object. This considered as a reference variable. Just I'll remove this. Okay, I'll remove this. So okay, if I create here figure REF, now this is just we are creating a reference variable. So there is a difference between a reference variable and the reference variable and object. So object is created using a new operator, so that is we call the actual existence of a object by using new operator. But by creating, this is the reference variable, not actual object. So this is possible. Because the figure is the abstract class, we can create a reference variable. Now as we discussed how to see reference, just to forget, reference equal to R. So reference is a parent class reference variable. Now R is a child class object. See here, R is a rectangle class object. This is possible, we can assign a child object to child reference variable to a parent reference variable. Now by using this R, by using this reference variable, we are just calling the area method. Now this r is assigned to reference variable. Now reference variable is a reference. Ref is a reference variable for a figure. Figure is abstract class, figure is an parent class. Now this ref now holding, see, r value, that is r is a rectangle object. So now r dot area, so see the ref dot area, this indirectly r dot area means rectangle dot area. Now after executing this statement where the control directly transport to rectangle dot area, okay, so now the directly control will be transferred to here and this method is executed. Okay, this method is executed. Next, you're just printing r dot area because it prints some value, the arithmetic value, because it is, the area is returning some double value. Okay, now here with reference, so ref is a reference variable for a figure. Now once again we are assigning a t object. So now t is a triangle. Okay, here the t is triangle object. So now this reference ref, the reference variable, parent reference variable ref is referring to a triangle because t is a triangle object. Now here ref dot area, so indirectly it is written as t dot area, indirectly t dot area. Now this is ref dot area. After executing this statement, the control transferred to here t dot area. So t is a triangle area. See here, control directly transferred to here and this method is executed, and this method returns some double value, that is, and arithmetic, see, dimension 1 into dimension 2 divided by 2, this returns this value. Okay, now just printing that value. Okay, now this is all about the abstract methods. See here, we can see here the only important point here is in this example, the abstract method area and within a parent class, and where we have overridden this method in child class here in the rectangle class, and also we overridden this area method in the triangle class also, because this triangle is also extending figure class. Now here with respect here figure ref, so this is ref is just a reference variable for a parent class. Now this is pointing assignment statement, so we are assigning a child specific object to a parent reference variable. By using a parent reference variable, we are calling a child class object, child class methods. Okay, here also and here also, because here after this statement we assign t. Now this reference variable is pointing to a triangle object. Now we can directly call the area method from triangle by using a reference variable. So this is all about the abstract classes and abstract methods. So this is all about this example shows the abstract, how to use abstract classes and abstract methods and how to implement this. Now we'll discuss the next topic, that is string.